All right, let's move
Karrion
on.
Kross, case in point.
I want to talk about the Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton segment because I didn't think there was going to be much going on here, but there was a lot going on. For better or for worse, I was intrigued by this for all the wrong reasons because these two women went off script. It took a turn, a weird turn, very, very quickly. And I wasn't expecting this, but it was kind of like a bad car crash. Like I couldn't look away, and I was just like thrown off by all the things these two women were saying to each other. Like it got personal, it got real, and there's some wrestling fans that they like their promos, like John Cena and Cody. Smooth and like perfect, and like the timing is perfect, and everything is just on point. That's good and everything. But to me personally, I like my promos like this, that feel real, that feel unscripted, that feel like, holy shit, she wasn't supposed to say that. Was she? Did she really just say that? And it wasn't pretty. It wasn't like, they were talking over each other. Charlotte was trying to talk over the crowd. It wasn't one of those, oh, I'm going to let the crowd, do their thing and I'm going to wait for them. No, like they were like moving. So it wasn't the most choreographed fucking segment, but it felt real. It felt raw and felt uncut. And that's what I liked about it. Charlotte Flair, earlier this week, she went on a talk show to talk about her personal life, her divorce. She got emotional. She was teary eyed. She talked about her injury, how she came back, and the way that fans reacted after dealing with injury, after dealing with divorce. She felt like she was failing in her job and failing in her personal life. She comes back to the WWE. She gets booed on top of everything. Tiffany Stratton didn't hold back. She brought that up. She brought up, oh, you're just going on talk shows and crying like a little, whatever. She brought up the divorce. You're going to end up alone again. She brought up Ric Flair. You're a Nepo baby. She brought up you're 0-3 in relationships. Like all kinds of shit. Charlotte Flair ended the promo with, that's why Kaiser is in my DMs. And I thought, I don't know. I mean, do I believe that? It doesn't matter, but she said it, so Tommy, you're first this time. Tommy, your thoughts on this segment?
Thank God you started with me, because holy shit. For the people saying that Tiffany got buried last week, what y'all gotta say now? What y'all gotta say now? Because holy crap, Tiffany took that and pulled a Seth Rollins back when him and Riddle were doing their thing. The good old, are we still on? Okay, since you want to talk about my family, let me talk about yours. Oh, wait, we can't because your wife left you and she don't want to see your bitch ass anymore. That is the feeling that I got from Tiffany tonight. Holy shit. She did not hold back. And I loved that with this. With the fact that it felt so real. It felt like Triple H was in the back and said, know what? Say whatever the hell y'all want. Go ahead. Put it out there. And I love the fact that overall, that divorce has been out for a bit. And we have been waiting and waiting for Tiffany to finally pull it out. And the fact that she did tonight, I'm like, yes! There it is! There's the thing that we have been waiting for a few weeks now. I am so happy with this promo battle. Because holy shit, it was insane. Neither of them held back, and I loved it.
Yeah, you say that you got that feeling from Seth and Riddle, and that's a good comparison. I got the feeling like these two women really don't like each other. And that's what a promo is supposed to do. No matter what, no matter how bad it sounded or how awkward it was or, how much of a wreck it was, I genuinely believe these two don't like each other and I want to see them fight. It's that fucking simple. You don't need to have all these scripted lines. Sometimes you just got to go out there and just tell it like it is. I thought that after Charlotte Flair going on this talk show and putting it all out on the line, telling the people the reality, how she really feels, what she was going through, I thought she was going to come back and get sympathy from the fans. But they're in Chicago. Chicago, they're not
No,
the
Chicago's brutal.
they're brutal, so they booed her even more. And I was like, what the fuck? But it also got me thinking, when Charlotte Flair was talking, she got the Dominic Mysterio treatment. They were booing her. They wouldn't let her talk. But then as soon as Tiffany Stratton would speak, the fans would just shut up. They let Tiffany Stratton speak. They cheered her when she was done making her points. And then Charlotte Flair would speak and she would get booed again. So Charlotte Flair, because of she just returned, she won the Rumble again. That put a lot of heat on her, and that's helping.
One of my favorite moments of this was Tiffany going, when you were 25, you were sitting in your dad's basement drinking. Meanwhile, me at 25, I'm going into WrestleMania as champion.
Even though Tiffany Stratton technically, she was the one that was being the heel here. Charlotte Flair is the one that should be getting all the sympathy after that interview that she did, but the people are still cheering for Tiffany Stratton. That's how over Tiffany Stratton is right now, and it's fucking crazy. BT, do you have any thoughts on this? BT, I think you're frozen. Are you there? Damn, we were doing so good. Oh, let me see. Nope, he's gone.
Damn.
Yep, there he goes. Have fun editing all this, Snug.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna have you guys do it from now on.
Oh hell no.
Oh, hell no.
What the fuck is going
There
on?
we go. Now we can hear you, B.
Yep. We
All
good?
right, go ahead.
All right. I personally did not like this promo segment. The whole thing was just cringe for me. I don't know why. I get they hate each other, but for me personally, it's just two privileged blonde bitches getting the shits at each other. That's basically all it is, in my opinion. And I just personally don't find any interest in it. So I don't give a fuck what happens. Give Charlotte the title. Let Tiffany keep it. I'm just through with it. I'm done.
All right, toxic. No, wait, no,
Anyone
I'm
else
sorry.
that
I'm sorry. No, no, no. It was actually blood. My bad. My
God
bad.
fucking damn it.
Go ahead, blood.
Uh, I didn't like this at all, actually. Um, this is going to sound like a yap sesh, like I'm pissing and moaning. Everybody knows Charlotte's my all-time favorite women's professional wrestler, period. But I am really sick and tired of the Charlotte hate as if she books this shit herself. Um, I'm tired of people hating on Charlotte. I'm tired of people uh, shaming Charlotte for her face surgeries, her nose. Like she had a deviated septum. She had to have a nose surgery. But you don't see people throwing shade at Roman Reigns. He had a nose surgery too because he also had a deviated septum. He also had fucking veneers put in, so he has fake teeth. So for me, I find it funny that we'll let it pass on Roman, but everybody's got to rip Charlotte to shreds. And what I really, really fucking hate, I'm sick and tired of this, is that everybody is refusing to let Charlotte help build this story and this promo because they want to boost so loud she can't talk. So she has to give up mid promo. That's really getting aggravating for me because I want to hear what she has to say. But she has go away heat because they're mad that she won the Royal Rumble. Well, she didn't book herself to win the Royal Rumble. She returned because Becky probably would have won if Becky had actually come back. So they're mad that Charlotte won, all because AJ Lee didn't come back like they wanted, because Becky Lynch didn't come back like they wanted, because Bayley didn't get back-to-back Royal Rumble wins. And it's like, dude, you guys act like she's the one in charge here. I also didn't like this because this entire promo exchange actually made me dislike Tiffany. Now, I have respected Tiffany Stratton's ability and athleticism, but I have never been a Tiffany Stratton fan. I think she had a meteoric rise that came out of nowhere. She was a cup of coffee on NXT, quickly brought to the main roster a lot faster than most of them. And then all of a sudden she's the next shiny blonde toy. And because we don't got enough of those on fucking the main roster, right? Because when I look at Tiffany Stratton, I don't see a wrestler of today's day. Tiffany Stratton's a wrestler that reminds me of the Divas era. Wildly talented, but everything about her character is preppy blonde heel or preppy blonde young talent that thinks she's better than everyone else. And when I look at her, I think the Divas Championship suits her better because it suits her character better. It suits her personality better. She reminds me of the old preppy blonde, bimbo acts with an attitude in the mouth from yesteryear in wrestling when Vince was still running it. That's what I think when I look at Tiffany. I did not like how personal this got. And I do like personal in my wrestling. I like a mixture of shoot and kayfabe. I do. My problem is that you could tell by the look on Charlotte's face that when they went off script, they went off script. Because it's the same look she had in her eye when her and Becky went off script. It's the same look she had in her eye when her and Nia went off script. Tiffany took some kind of offense from whatever their segment was last week and thought, I'm going to get my pound of flesh and I'm going to go where I probably shouldn't. If you see someone who's genuinely hurting from real personal struggles and battles earlier in the week, live on TV in front of the world, and you think, well, I don't know how to actually hang with her on the mic, because in reality, Tiffany wouldn't hang with Charlotte on the mic if the fans let Charlotte fucking talk. And Tiffany thought, well, since they're not giving her anything, I'm going to just take full stride, and kind of went into business for herself there on a bit of a heel-esque run there on that promo, out of character for what she's supposed to be right now, and decided instead of trying to build myself up, I'm just going to rip you down because I feel like I need to get my get back on you and get a receipt here. So she went after her failed marriage, which is still fresh, when she's still on the same roster with the man she just divorced. So that can't be easy. Mm-hmm. She went after her legacy about how, because Charlotte's always been open, she doesn't like being compared to her father. You went after that. She wouldn't even bring it up her dad. You brought it up. Like, there was nothing likable about Tiffany in this segment. People will sit there and say, oh, well, no, Tiffany, you're just mad because Tiffany was taking it to her. Tiffany wasn't taking anything to Charlotte Flair. The fans wouldn't let Charlotte Flair fucking respond. So how could she take it to her if Charlotte had no way to give anything back? She had no choice but to sit there and listen because the fans wouldn't fucking let her cut her promo. The same way they wouldn't let Dom cut his promos. Charlotte literally had to give up mid-promo and go, you know what? I'm going to let you take this.
Right.
Like, legitimately. I'm going to let you have the last word. And Tiffany, this made me not like Tiffany because Tiffany exposed herself here when they went off script. She exposed herself as desperate. She was desperate for the pop, desperate to keep the momentum on her side, so she did low blow after low blow after low blow to Charlotte. Charlotte gave her like one low blow, and it was a retort to all the low blows that Tiffany gave her. Because let's be honest, in the ring, Tiffany is only as good as Charlotte was in 2015, like mid-prime Charlotte. But if we're talking about who's the better wrestler, better performer, I'm sorry. I don't think Tiffany can go into Mania last year against Rhea and put on a 5-star fucking classic. Because in my opinion, Tiffany just ain't there yet. She should focus on her top. So when I sit there and hear her disrespecting Charlotte off script like that, we were talking the other week about how we thought it was BS that that one who's the one rapper that was going in on Bubba? What's his name from the Rock segment at Elimination Chamber? Travis Scott. And we sat there and said, you don't disrespect the greats, you don't disrespect the legend in this business. Here's Tiffany going into business for herself, off script, because this was definitely off script. There was no way that this was in script. And she legitimately decides, I'm going to attack you personally with nothing that had anything to do with building the match, by the way. Nothing she said was building their match. That's my problem. If you want to go personal, bring it to the match. Why are you attacking her marriage? Why are you attacking her opening about her mental health struggles? Oh, good on you. What a baby face. Like, dude, what are we doing here? Well, because in my opinion, Charlotte had to hold her composure because she's learned from past experience with her scrape up with Becky, with the title swap, with her scrape up with Nia, that, hey, I'm the one who always gets kicked out of the building. So I'm going to sit here and I'm just going to let you talk. Charlotte took the high road until she made that one dig about Ludwig. But she kind of earned that. She did deserve to say that dig after the shit Tiffany said. Because to me, this wasn't even building the match. Tiffany was out there just to embarrass Charlotte for the sake of embarrassing actual Charlotte Flair. Not trying to build the match and embarrass Charlotte Flair in character.
And well, let's be real, bud. Let's be real. What are the chances of them being like, you know what? Let's just go out there and let's just draw money. Everything's on the table. You can say whatever you want, and we'll just go out there and I can see that happening especially because Charlotte Flair is a pro. She's a pro. She's professional. She's a veteran. She looked kind of awkward out there. She looked kind of uncomfortable, but I can see Charlotte Flair, like, for the sake of the business, for the sake of, drawing her interest. It made me want to see the match more now.
But I think she sat there and let it happen because she realized it's still getting the heat that they need. But the look in her eye, I've been a fan of Charlotte since the moment she showed up on NXT versus Natalya.
She looked uncomfortable.
She didn't just look uncomfortable. She looked hurt.
Mm-hmm.
She looked hurt. That didn't feel, hey, before we go out there, hey, gloves are off. You can say whatever you want. That looked like someone who in real time was realizing that this girl was saying shit that they didn't agree to talk about out in this ring ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
Because Charlotte looked caught in the headlights at several different moments. Mm-hmm. And then she looked like she was trying not to cry when she was trying to respond, and the crowd was bullying her on top of Tiffany.
Mm-hmm.
This literally looked like just we're watching Charlotte get bullied for real on live TV. Like, what does this do for the match? What does bringing up her divorce do for the match? What does bringing up her injuries do for the match? What does attacking her legacy do for the match? Why aren't you out there telling me why you're better than her in the ring? Tell me how many wins you've had as a champion. Tell me how just because she's beaten all these, just because you've beaten this person and this person, you've never beaten me. I beat Nia Jax. Why aren't you selling me on you for all the accolades you've done? Why are you just attacking her personally?
Personal issues.
Where is the match build? But you're not wanting me to make me see the match. You're just wanting to make people boo Charlotte Flair. But you're not proving to me that you're going to beat her in the ring. You're telling me that you can just beat her in a promo segment when the crowd helps you. But you're not showing me you can physically dominate her in the match because you're not telling me how great you are. You're telling me how bad she is.
I don't know, man. To me, this felt like a boxing promo or like a UFC promo.
It just really soured me on Tiffany because this felt legitimately off script. And Charlotte, just because of her past experience of getting in trouble and repairing her friendship with Becky and trying to relax over the last year with her comeback and all the stuff, she was just trying to go out there and legitimately was like, you know what? Every time that I respond, react, get angry, I'm the one who gets in trouble. I get kicked out of the buildings. I get in the fistfights backstage. Somebody threatens to punch me in the face. Yada, yada, yada. All the things we've heard. And from experience and just maturing, she just goes, you know what? It's just say what I'm just going to let her talk.
Yeah.
I can't react out here.
All
She
right.
legitimately looked like she was boxed in for real, not in story. I didn't like it at all.
Let's hear from Toxic.
At the end of the promo, we heard Charlotte say that Kaiser's in her DMs. Anyone else feel like that 2 or 3 weeks from now after Mania, we're going to get something from PW Insider saying, breaking news, Ludwig Kaiser is actually inside of Charlotte Flair's DMs. Anyone else feel like that?
That'd be interesting for like a story mode.
Yeah,
I would
but
be down.
Well, considering in kayfabe, they've never addressed Ludwig and Tiffany as an on-screen couple in kayfabe and story. That was off script because we only know about their relationship shoot, not in story, not on TV. So if that's a real thing, I won't be surprised if because it's Friday, so there won't be a news release tomorrow. Probably, maybe on What Culture. I won't be surprised if Monday we hear that there was an altercation backstage after this.
Go ahead,
But
Toxic.
I enjoyed this. Not the fact that Charlotte is being bullied, because to be honest, everyone was confused when she came back. Like, what the fuck was she? Is she a heel? Is she a face? What the fuck was she? And they just automatically threw, oh, you're a heel now. I just don't understand, and it's honestly not right, because everything that Mr. Blood said was true. Everything's true. She looks like she's about to cry. Not that it. She did. She actually did look like she was about to cry.
I know. That's
She
why I'm
looked
laughing.
uncomfortable, but I don't agree with the part that Tiffany said stuff that they didn't agree to talk about. I thought Charlotte agreed, but didn't know it was going to hit that damn hard.
Yeah. She probably like realized when she got there, like, oh fuck, what did I do?
Yeah.
But look, man, I feel for Charlotte, but there's a lot of wrestling fans, a lot of smart wrestling fans that fucking hate her. They don't care for her. They don't care for Charlotte. But I feel like this can be like another topic for another day. We can do like a whole ass episode comparing Tiffany Stratton with Charlotte Flair. I think there's a lot to be said here.
I mean, haven't we wanted her to bring up Andrade for a bit?
I mean, they never.
Not
They
me.
never
There was
did
never a
anything.
need to.
They never did anything on screen. I mean, they don't have to bring up like all these wrestlers are always dating each other. They all date each other, but that doesn't mean they have to go on TV with it all the fucking time. You know?
I just didn't like certain things about it. I really didn't. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but bringing up 0 and 3 in relationships isn't cool. When the man that Charlotte was married to prior to Andrade was abusive, physically abusive to her, and that's why they got divorced. So I don't think stuff like that should be fair game in a promo for a TV show. That's all I'm saying. That shit's like, to me, you're not selling me on anything. You're just attacking someone personally. And how are we winning here?
Well, in
You know?
2025, yeah, in this, it's different times, but we're also talking about, the same TV show that fucking Randy Orton said Eddie Guerrero's not looking down at us. He's looking up at us because he's in hell.
Yeah, but he all said after that it made him sick to his stomach, and he begged Vince to change it so he wouldn't have to say it.
And you could visually
We're
see
talking
how
about the same time when Charlotte was literally on the opposite side of a feud with Paige, and they forced Paige. They forced Paige at the threat of getting sent home that you will say to Charlotte that her little baby brother didn't have much fight left in him after he died from an overdose. And they didn't even have the decency to call and ask permission from Ric Flair and his wife that it'd be okay to say that line live on TV. Like they've gone too far before. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of Paige, I'm willing to bet y'all fools are the same fools that popped big when Jimmy and Jay Uso did that "Don't Get Rated R" like your boy Xavier Woods. I bet you guys thought that was cool. I bet you guys thought that was real cool.
I really didn't because I didn't. And I'll tell you why I didn't. Because we were finding out at that same time that Paige was becoming bulimic from the public scrutiny and stuff. She almost killed herself. So I didn't think it was funny when they brought that up because it was literally actually destroying her life. I didn't find that shit funny because she legitimately almost took her own life because of that shit going public.
Well,
I didn't think it was funny at all. Sometimes wrestling gets too personal for a pop, and a cheap pop isn't worth tormenting somebody.
Yeah.
In real life. Sorry.
BT,
Just
did you
my
have
real
some
personal feelings?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say when Mr. Blood was bringing up the Randy stuff, you could see how uncomfortable he was before he said the words "in hell." You could see him trying to get his composure together and try to get through it because he looked uncomfortable when he said that. And the Paige and Charlotte stuff, I remember watching that for the first time when I was like first watching WWE. And when Paige had said that her brother didn't have enough fight left in him to survive, the fucking nerves that went crazy in my body when I heard that shit. I couldn't believe. I'm like, is that how desperate wrestlers are? They really go that far? Because I didn't know anything about like how Vince ran WWE and things like that. I was still very new to it.
Yeah,
So
they pushed her to it. She literally said she felt like she was going to throw up after they went backstage. She felt that bad about it. She wanted to throw up. She felt sick to her stomach.
That is
because
so
this isn't
sad.
like characters. These are characters on the TV show, but they're real people playing alternate versions of themselves. It's not like you watch a show on Netflix where this is a written drama with actual actors playing completely different people in different lives. No, these are real live TV performers under either real names or versions of their names, bringing up their real life experiences that have happened in front of the world to see. It's not the same. It hurts different. It's too personal sometimes.
I mean, this is the exact same booker who decided it would be a great idea before it was shut down by Stephanie herself, that he thought it would be a great idea to walk up to Stephanie and ask her if she can do an incest storyline.
Well, that was Vince. Yeah. My daughter will be the mother of this unborn kid. It'll turn out that my daughter. You're going to have an like. What are we doing here?
Like, and remember, you know what I mean? remember, Vince is the same guy that said that he wanted to see Undertaker's wife get R-worded. That's the same motherfucker that said that he wants to see Undertaker's wife get R-worded. Let us all remember that shit.
Well, I think we learned a lesson here.
Let's move on, you guys, because we're getting way off topic now.
Yeah, just sometimes it's too personal. I didn't like it.
Yeah, let's get back on the topic of SmackDown.
Yeah.
All right.